A loving husband goes on a simple duck hunting trip and vanishes without a trace. For 17 years, the world believed he was lost to the lake. But the truth? It was far more chilling than anyone imagined. This is the unbelievable story of Mike Williams, the man who was declared gone twice and betrayed in the most shocking way. Mike Williams was a family man. He and his high school sweetheart, Denise, had an 18-month-old daughter, Ansley. They were just days away from celebrating their 6th wedding anniversary. Mike was known for his warm smile and love for the outdoors, especially hunting with his best friend, Brian Winchester. The two had been inseparable since high school, sharing countless adventures. It seemed like the perfect friendship, but beneath the surface, something dark was brewing. On that fateful December morning, Mike kissed Denise goodbye and headed to Lake Seminole for a quick hunt before an anniversary trip they'd planned. Hours passed, and he didn't return. By noon, Denise and her father drove to the lake, finding Mike's truck and empty boat trailer at a remote landing. His boat was later found abandoned in a cove, with no sign of Mike. Authorities launched a massive search, combing the murky waters for days. They found his waders, jacket, and flashlight, but no body. The official theory: Mike had fallen overboard, drowned, and been devoured by alligators. Case closed. But one person refused to believe it: Mike's mother, Cheryl Williams. Cheryl was convinced her son hadn't died by accident. She began her own investigation, compiling 27 pages of notes, putting up flyers, and writing over 1,400 letters to Florida's governor, begging for the case to be reopened. People called her crazy, including Denise, who seemed oddly distant during the search. But Cheryl's persistence kept the case alive, even as Denise moved on, collecting $1.75 million from Mike's life insurance policies brokered by none other than Brian Winchester. As years passed, suspicions grew. Why had Denise remarried Brian Winchester just 5 years after Mike's disappearance? And why did Cheryl's pleas for answers seem to fall on deaf ears? The truth began to unravel in 2016, when Brian and Denise's marriage imploded. In a desperate act, Brian kidnapped Denise at gunpoint, fearing she might reveal their shared secret. Facing a 45-year sentence, Brian cut a deal with prosecutors: immunity for the truth about Mike's death. What he confessed was beyond comprehension. Brian revealed that he and Denise had been having an affair since 1997. Together, they hatched a plan to kill Mike, stage it as a boating accident, and live off his life insurance. On December 16, 2000, Brian lured Mike to Lake Seminole. As Mike struggled in the water, clinging to a stump, Brian shot him in the face with a shotgun. He then drove Mike's body 60 miles to Carr Lake, burying it in a shallow grave just miles from Cheryl's home. For 17 years, Brian and Denise lived their lie, raising Ansley and spending the insurance money. In 2017, Brian led authorities to Mike's remains. Search dogs uncovered 98% of his skeleton, still wearing his wedding ring. Cheryl finally laid her son to rest, but her fight wasn't over. In 2018, Denise was arrested for first-degree murder and conspiracy. Brian's testimony exposed their affair and the cold-blooded plot. Denise was sentenced to life in prison, though an appellate court later overturned the murder conviction on technicalities. She still serves 30 years for conspiracy. Cheryl's relentless love brought justice, but at a cost. Mike's daughter, Ansley, now believes her mother is innocent, leaving a family fractured. The Mike Williams case is a haunting tale of loyalty, betrayal, and a mother's unbreakable will. What do you make of this shocking betrayal?